We go. We are off and running. Yep. Oh, wow. Okay. There we go. Okay. That's interesting. Yep. We are live. We are live. Right, I think that's wrong. We are live. And it is. All right. Well, we'll change it. We'll fix it. We have a statement here. Wow. Received. Let me check, everybody. Folks, good afternoon. Nice job by the Providence Police. Connection is confirmed, says JR. Folks, how about Road Patrol Live last night? It was a good one. My goodness. How about the search and CF? All right, Karen retrial is done for the day. Yes, it is. Let's see if anything else. Okay. All right. Where did I see the FBI thing? Okay, Wisconsin County Judge arrested. Hey, if you're not going to follow the law, there I am. Wisconsin County Judge. Okay, there we go. Arrested. Now this sounds good on X, hey, right? Not follow the law. Right. There I am. Okay, there I am is right. Okay, folks, again, we just continue to grow with our platforms. How about next week? 104. Yes, Road Patrol Live tonight. Saturday night, we'll see about Sunday. I don't know. Who knows what the weekend is going to bring? But we'll be ready to roll. We're going to start in just a moment. Minor typo here. It says ACI protest. It should say ICE protest. Somebody heads are going to roll over that. No, they're not. All right, I know. Maybe I can change that. No. It's not the ACI protest, Harry. There's Lynn Miller. There we go. Lynn lighting up the stars. We are live. It's with the ICE protest. Wow. Who typed that in? Let me get to. Was it you? All right, not a problem. Mistakes happen. Just don't make another one. All right, we are standing by. Wow, look at the lodge. That looks delicious. We are standing by for JR to give us the go-ahead, and then we will begin. I have a lot of news. I'm just thrown by that someone typed in. Oh, we can check it, change it. Oh, good. All right, now I feel better. ICE protests. Okay, thank you. My goodness. That was good Road Patrol Live last night, though. All right, we're going to wait for JR to give us the go-ahead. We have a lot of news to get to, so get ready. Folks, remember, this is the real news. And more people are realizing that, as a matter of fact. What are we? Okay, 106. Good afternoon, one and all. Let me go through the list. Excuse me. Right now, at 106 on this Friday, April 25th, we are live. AM 1380, 99.9 FM. AM 1380, 99.9 FM. You can always listen online at the website, which is depetro.com. But wait, there's more. We are live right now, 1 to 2 on our Facebook page, also on our X account, and also on YouTube, which continues to grow, as a matter of fact. Now, I also just want to mention next week, I will be in the courtroom. I got one of the coveted slots. Not everyone gets one. There's only 10 members of the media that are allowed in. I'm going to be one of them. So next week, obviously, we're going to be in Dedham for the Karen Reed retrial. But most importantly, this time will be a little flexible. So if the judge says, let's break for lunch at 12:45, then JR is prepared. We're going to break at 12:45. But it's normally, for instance, they just broke for the day, and it's right before 1 o'clock, and that was pretty much the pattern this week. So it's definitely going to be some time between, on the safe side, 12:45 and obviously between then and 2 o'clock at some point. All right. So just a programming note. And then also looking ahead to next week, I will be on Court TV on Monday morning. I was on this morning. We're going to be on Monday morning talking about, is there a serial killer in New England? We're going to be talking about that. The media is ignoring the Coventry story. I have no idea. Coventry was the first press conference with the FBI, well, not FBI, but Coventry Police, FBI were there, human remains in December. The press conference was held in January. The national media, they're flagging human remains found in March into April. I don't have an explanation other than they just don't know about it. But I'll say this, the Coventry human remains found, and we had extensive coverage. If you log on to depetro.com, we had a video of that. We were at the press conference with Detective Pacheco. I believe I'm going to be speaking with Coventry Police. But that was a homicide. That was a homicide. So I just throw that out for those that are curious. And I know there's just rumors everywhere about the about this. Is there a New England serial killer? But I don't know why. You know why the media, they're just, who knows? The local media is following the national media, and it should always be the other way around. I've spoken to 2 outlets, and they had no idea that human remains were found in Coventry in December. We were there for 2 days with the search, and then it was right around Thanksgiving, and then they had the press conference at the end of January, and I was speaking with someone with the national media, and they had no idea about this. I don't understand. But anyhow, so Court TV Monday, and I'm also glad to hear, apparently, now I did the True Crimes podcast for Fox News Radio it's normally hosted by Emily Campagno, but this time I guess she was away or she was out or whatever happened, but I did with Paul Morrow, who's brilliant, and now we're going to do it again next week. Plus, I think we're going to do a segment with Fox News Radio with the serial killer situation. So folks, again, we utilize all the platforms, right? I mean, that's what depetro.com is for, because people are on different platforms. I'm aware of that. That's why we go live like we were last night on TikTok. That's why right now we're live on X and YouTube and obviously Facebook, but also Instagram. Plus, we have the website, depetro.com, which is brought to you by the Coesit Inn, 226 Coesit Avenue, West Warwick. Lunch, dinner, drinks in the lounge, plus the market at Coesit. They're waiting for you at the Coesit Inn. And I also want to start off, the weather this weekend, I think it's supposed to be pretty decent. I'll check in a moment. But PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center, they are officially open for the season. Stop in, beautiful selection. Pansy flats, pansy bags, hangers and bowls, assorted colors, tulips, hyacinthus, daffodils, hydrangeas. Colors are available in blue, white, and pink. Stop in and see them. They're open 7 days a week. They grind it It's PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center. All right, I just received this information from Providence Police. Okay. The Providence Police Department, in coordination with the Rhode Island Attorney General's Office and multiple police agencies, participated in the execution of search warrants, part of an ongoing firearms investigation. Providence officers executed 6 search warrants, this was yesterday morning, including 2 by the Special Response Unit, with an additional warrant executed by Pawtucket Police as part of the overall investigation. The operation led to the seizure of 12 firearms. In addition, narcotics, cell phones, and other evidence. Case was primarily investigated by members of the Providence Police Detective Bureau, Intelligence Unit, Task Force, and ATF, with additional assistance from North Providence, Pawtucket, Woonsocket, Rhode Island State Police. At this time, the investigation remains active. Excuse me. They're not mentioning who they arrested, but my information, as we mentioned last night on Road Patrol, was that these are individuals. I want to see some of the names, because in talking with different police and law enforcement about this operation, a number of them have told me totally going to know some of the names, and you've investigated, you've been on the scene when they've been involved with some of these things. So we'll wait. There was talk that some of them were going to be in court. There's no press release on that. I'm on this one. Yesterday morning, I could not be there. I knew about at least 3 of them, but they were super early, and I couldn't be there. But anyhow, last night was big. I do want to talk about this ICE protest that happened yesterday. And there's parts of this, folks, that the media is not covering. And I don't say that. I want to be very clear. I'm not saying that to bash not all of the rest of the local media, but I don't say that. I say it so you understand the difference and that you can discern the difference of what we offer compared to some of the others. To date, no one else, other than the Valley Breeze, and I don't know if they posted anything yesterday, but the quote, mainstream, they have nothing on the Pawtucket firefighters. There's 8 of them gone. I still have people posting on the different platforms. They think it's fake. I don't know what to tell you. There's 8 of them that are gone. The investigation continues, and it has to do with using and selling drugs. It's just a fact. Check DePietro.com. Some of these people, but I get that some people, they don't follow the news, or then they say, I just checked whatever, certain website, and they didn't have anything. Yeah, no kidding. But it's there. Of course it's there. So I did see Michelle Romano's family yesterday, and I felt terrible for them. I think that's another example. Many of you know, we were on that story. I wish all the media had been on that story. But her services were yesterday. She has a beautiful family. I was happy I could stop by and see them. Now, I do want to talk about the ICE protests. I'm going to do it right now. Folks, this portion of the program brought to you by Propane Plus Heating and Cooling. Call them today, 401-885-4209. In Massachusetts, 508-252-3359. Propane Plus Heating and Cooling. You can always log on at propaneplus.com. They have a very user-friendly website, residential or commercial. It's Propane Plus. Again, call them today, 401-885-4209. They're the best. Or 508-252-3359 for Propane Plus. Folks, I'm not going to post that firefighters are gone, 8 of them. If it's not, I'm not going to argue. If there's people that don't understand that happened, and there are people that aren't even arguing about that, then I can't help you. But I deal with first responders, as you saw last night, literally every night. I'm not going to post something like that unless we have it solid. Now, regards to the ICE protest, I have a problem with the way that story is being presented. And as I told, for those of you that saw last night, was ICE at Rhode Island Hospital yesterday. And then word spread, and then there was a protest, and a protest led by that June Rose, who is a problem. That June Rose, who is anti-Semite, anti-Semitic, who is the chief of staff for the Providence City Council, doesn't work for the mayor, but works at City Hall. I'm just going to describe this. I'm not a blind person. He has a beard, but he wears a dress, and he changed his name to June. Whatever. But he was at the protest. And the problem I have that the media is not telling the full story is how that went down. And how it went down was ICE was in Providence yesterday, and they were going after a very dangerous criminal who was on Chapin. Now, if you watched Road Patrol Live last night, we were on Chapin. I brought you to exactly where it all happened. It was right at the intersection of Chapin and Parade. Now, Parade, this is right off of Cranston Street, right next to the Dexter Street Playground. It's right next door to the Cranston Street Armory. When you leave Chapin, if you don't take a left on Parade or go right to Cranston Street, boom, you'd slam into the Cranston Street Armory. So what happened on Chapin? But and I want to just show, here it is. Channel 12, protesters demand answers after man detained by ICE. That's not the story. And Lieutenant Governor Sabina Matos has it, she's got her whole mentality. I just completely fundamentally disagree with, as I explained last night, and I have posted on this. So the remarks that she put out to the media, which by the way, they go unchallenged. They shouldn't go unchallenged. So, all right, now I'm seeing suspects connected to multiple raids across the state appear in court. I don't know what to tell you. I got the press release, and I'm reading that, and then suddenly Channel 10 is reporting that they were in court. So I'm not going to argue. Let's see. Several suspects connected to multiple raids appeared. Some of those appeared in Dylan Caratis, connected to a series of raids in Rhode Island, appeared. Okay. 21-year-old Depraves Daly and 19-year-old Dylan Caratis appeared in court. Multiple illegal firearm charges, blah, blah, blah. Respected homes in Providence and Woonsocket. Both police allege both unregistered homemade ghost guns, as well as high-capacity magazines and automatic weapon conversion attachments, along with 4,000 grams of weed. 6 locations were raided, 12 firearms. I got the same press release from Anthony Vega, but certainly didn't mention that they were in court. In court, police allege some or all of the people are affiliated with street gangs. Who's been telling you about the gang problem that we have in Rhode Island? Now, for that, I'm going to take sole credit. We monitor it. I'm the only one that talks about it. I'm the only one that has talked about that right now. Pawtucket has a gang war that has broken out between Bucket East and Bucket West. But let me just finish about the ICE situation. But it kind of ties in with the Providence City Council. Let me finish the ICE situation. So they go to get this very dangerous individual. He lunges at one of the ICE agents. Here's what the local media won't tell you. This isn't illegal. He had fled the country. He snuck back into the country. They know where he was. He was on Chapin Street in Providence. ICE goes to get him. At that time, he lunges at them with a weapon. The ICE agents tased him. Now, keep of what I just explained to you. You have a wanted illegal on several outstanding warrants who fled the country and came back in. ICE is going to get him, which he should be in ICE custody. When they're going to apprehend him, he is attempting to fight with them, and even presents a weapon. They use the taser, non-lethal. He's tased. As a result of being tased, they want to have him checked out at the hospital. So they bring him to the hospital. Suddenly, word gets out. Oh, I saw them put him in a rescue. Now, suddenly, the ICE protesters flood Rhode Island Hospital. And that's where that June Rose, who is the chief of staff of the Providence City Council, Lieutenant Governor Sabina Matos, and others, the local media, they start to spread this false narrative that ICE showed up to apprehend someone at Rhode Island Hospital. And here were some of the things they were telling, which should never have been reported because it was all lies. They went to get someone who was in surgery. Totally false. They were taking a parent who brought a sick child to the hospital. Another lie. They were grabbing a patient who was in there who, went to seek medical help. And suddenly, folks, like, when do the lies stop? It is kind of funny that ICE was able to sneak this guy out, and then those idiots didn't even know that we're protesting in front. But let's celebrate the victory. This is tremendous. This is tremendous that ICE was able to get this guy and go into Providence and grab him and let them stomp and yell. The part about Lieutenant Governor Matos that I want to touch on is her quote of, they have no right, ICE has no right taking a Rhode Island citizen. That is, as I explained last night on Road Patrol Live, folks, that's a made-up term. That's a made-up term that apparently the rest of the media just allows her to misrepresent. There's no such thing. You are a U.S. citizen, and then you may be a resident of a state. There are people listening, watching right now. You're residents of Rhode Island. You're residents of Massachusetts. We have a lot of people that watch that are residents of Florida and other states. But there's no such thing as you're not a citizen of Massachusetts. You're not a citizen of Florida. It's kind of pathetic that I have to explain how it works to McKee's lieutenant governor, but that's where we are. And the media just goes along with it. She made up the term. There's no such thing as a Rhode Island citizen. He's an illegal criminal who is wanted by ICE, who happened to be hiding in the sanctuary state of Rhode Island. That is another reason why, and another reason the local media, they don't report on that. Gee, why was he hiding? Why was this criminal seeking sanctuary? When you're seeking sanctuary, he wanted to be in a sanctuary state that would hide him. And as Governor McKee said, these people are, they're Rhode Island citizens. No, they stop using the term Rhode Island citizens. There's no such thing. Now, keep in mind, here's the story that the local media has forgotten about. Providence City Council, when Sabina Matos, the lieutenant governor, when she was head of the Providence City Council, and she was, one of the things she did was they got rid of the gang database within their department. The Providence City Council, I know that sounds like a joke. I was telling it to a reporter from out of state. They said, you have to be kidding me. Nope. That was McKee's lieutenant governor. Ask him about that next time he's on W. McKee RO. Sabina Matos and the Providence City Council, they got rid of the Providence Police gang database. And as a result of that, what I said 5 years ago, that was going to rocket the gang activity. And notice, local media, they never touch on the gang activity. Now, when we were out last week, we had the Hanover Street boys that were there. When you see, and I know why a number of them don't like Road Patrol Live, like Pork Boy and his little producer, is because we highlight the gang problems that are out there. And they're real. And the problem when you have gang problems is there can be stray bullets and all the shootings and everything. These guys aren't exactly marksmen, right? There's many innocent people could get hit when they start to fire. So I think it's a good indication that the Providence Police under Chief Oscar Perez and Commander O'Hara are starting to say that they are members of local gangs, because the local media, they don't like to talk about it. And Providence City Council, June Rose, in her dress, calling for the genocide of Israel, they don't like to mention the gangs. But these gangs are causing tremendous problems in and around the state. And folks, no one reports on the member of the cartel that was killed 2 years ago. Remember that the shooting in Oneyville? That was a cartel member that was executed. No one will talk about that. Instead, they like to cover, look at all these people coming out for the Trump protest, blah, blah, blah. All this mamby-pamby. BS is what it is. I don't do that. We are unedited. We are unfiltered. We are as raw as it gets. And you could hear it last night in Central Falls. Who stands next to me? Someone that thinks it's perfectly normal to just drop foul language in every sentence. Folks, this portion of the program is brought to you by Arch Design Builders. Hey, listen, call them, Ed and Roxanne, 401-207-4124. 401-207-4124. Kitchens, bathrooms, basements, decks, Arch Design Builders. You're going to learn about the Arch difference. Set up the appointment with Ed and Roxanne, 401-218-9707. You can find them on both Facebook and also on Instagram. Well, folks, good afternoon. 127. As far as local media, if some people want to debate and give you the latest of who's the next thief that's going to take over at the Rhode Island State House, I'm willing to punt. They can have that story. Anyone that watches Road Patrol Live, and we're out every night, you tell me whether or not, would you say, is there a gang problem in Hartford Avenue? Eric is great at the command center. I mean, we do kind of laugh every time there's a call and I have to go to Hartford Avenue. Only for those of you that watch, I wouldn't put some of the people there, not all. A lot of them are super nice and big fans of the program. Not all are fans of the program, as we find out. Obviously, in the South Side, you have problems with the Harriet Street boys. And I don't discount. We saw them last week. Now, they were friendly to me. You saw the Hanover Street gang. I allow them to do shout outs, right? I don't cause them harm. We saw the Toby Street gang, and that was the one. Do you remember the kid who had the chicken? And they crashed the car and the driver ran, so then the police just let him go. I mean, basically on a nightly basis, we deal with a lot. I don't know. I'm not trying to glorify it, and I'm not trying to say any of it's okay. And I do actually now. Someone sent me one of the names, and I do know one of the names. But my point is, notice, for instance, Governor McKee and the rest of them, they don't talk about the gang problem. They don't talk about how it puts people at risk. Look at how the media was glorifying the protest yesterday at Rhode Island Hospital. They had no right to be at Rhode Island Hospital. They had no right to stop the rescues going in and out of Rhode Island Hospital. Someone could have died at Rhode Island Hospital. I will say right now, 129, where I'm different than the people down the dial, is I think Governor McKee has done an atrocious job. As I have said, I never thought we would see a governor worse than Chafee. And then Dan McKee came along and said, hold my beer. And why he is protected with his pals down the dial is beyond me. All right, I do want to talk about Sheldon Whitehouse. There's not a lot to report on the Karen Reed trial, other than I know some people are coming for updates. And obviously they see me on Court TV talking about it. And then apparently the true crime podcast with Fox has just rocketed, because now we're going to start doing a lot more of them. But all I can tell you, without going through the whole thing, I mean, I could talk a full hour about it, but what can't be denied is the clips that they're using of her, that they're playing in the courtroom, as Vinnie Politan said, like commercial breaks, of her talking about drinking, of her talking about drunk driving, of her talking about how many drinks she had, of her mocking John O'Keefe's mother. If you're watching that and thinking that's not a problem, well, then I can't help you. So I'm very curious next week to see the reaction from the jury when these clips are played. Folks, this portion of our program is brought to you by Kids Club on the Pike. Don't forget, their summer camp is coming up. They run a great summer camp for your child, your children, your grandchildren. Contact Kristen, Kids Club on the Pike. Now, they're right off of 295. They're right on the Cranston-Johnson line. Kids Club on the Pike. It's perfect for a birthday party. It's perfect for before and after school care and preschool. But they run a great summer camp program. And it's right easy to get to, right off 295. It's clean, it's safe. They don't do the whole, let's bring in some men in ballroom dresses to read to the kids. I mean, they don't do that. A little more traditional summer camp type of things. If my kids were younger, I wouldn't have a problem sending them there. I don't have any grandchildren, but if I did, I wouldn't have a problem them going there. Kids Club on the Pike. Contact them, 401-443-5336. Don't get shut out for summer camp. Now, let me stay on schedule. Let's see. Jen has asked me, watch you every afternoon. Love the show. Who is that roof company you recommend? Roof Co. Rhode Island. Top level of service, prices you can afford. Roof Co. Rhode Island. Call them 401-868-7149. Jen, call Roof Co. Rhode Island. Maybe you've had wind damage. They'd be happy to give you a free estimate. Inspect your roof for wind damage, free estimate. Wind damage, leaky roof, missing lifted or curled shingles, granules in the gutter, damaged chimney flashing. Roof Co. Rhode Island, 401-868-7149. Call them, get a free estimate. Do you need a new roof? Are you thinking getting a new roof? Do you realize your insurance could probably deliver to you a brand new roof if you've had wind damage? Call Roof Co. Rhode Island. Let them check it out. Happy to inspect it. Free estimate, 401-868-7149. Again, okay, 133. Now, I also want to touch on this business that Rhode Island Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, and outspoken about he gives the Trump administration a grade of F. Folks, as I have stated, where I run into a problem, God bless me, look what happens. You go to Central Falls, you score some cheap blow, and then you're sneezing the next day. Just kidding. I was not at the Sportsman. You guys watched me then drive to the stabbing on off of Smith Street. What gets me is Sheldon Whitehouse. The people of Rhode Island want Trump removed. Now, Sheldon Whitehouse is under investigation. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, who propped up this whole scam of the wife with, the nonprofit. And then the wife is a consultant for the nonprofit. And then the millions that they have grabbed. I absolutely believe we are headed in the right direction. And he's clearly not asking me. Whether it's Seth Magaziner, who's an embarrassment, Gabe Amo is the biggest embarrassment. But Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, he doesn't represent us. He's certainly not there representing me. Senator Reid is the only one that is highly respected by military, and I know firsthand from family members that have family in the military, if they ever reach out to Rhode Island Senator Jack Reed, he has been very responsive to them. But for Senator Whitehouse to give President Trump an F, do you know China is now starting to negotiate some of the tariffs? The trade war that President Trump has enacted against China is overdue, is needed, and China is the enemy. And so I applaud that. But I love what they are doing about the border. And what I like is the fact that, folks, we should not be, and this goes for Massachusetts as well, our part of the country should not be sanctuary and provide safe haven for who are you providing a sanctuary for, Governor McKee? You're providing a sanctuary for criminals. So I applaud what the Trump administration is doing. I think they're off to a great start. I shiver to think what situation we'd be in if Harris and that clown, the governor of Minnesota, had actually won the election. And I like the fact it's time that the state get its house in order. As we know in the past, Governor McKee, they just blow through all this federal money. I also, I'm telling you that there's something odd about, and I don't have the full story yet, but I'm telling you, there's something odd how he got that bridge money, meaning Governor McKee. Something very odd about that. I'm not sure exactly just what yet, but I'm telling you, there's something how he got that 220 million. I I um I don't know. I mean, we're gonna have to wait and see, but I think that is something to watch because if he doesn't get the bridge money, the 220 million, he is dead man walking as far as reelection. And he does want for not only does he want 4 more years to just continue to destroy the state, but on top of that, not only does he want 4 more years to destroy the state, but he has no choice because he is neck deep. As I've said in the past, if you've ever seen the movie The Irishman, Governor McKee is Fitz, who just likes to play golf and just signs off on all these loans. And, you know, the organized crime that takes over the Teamsters, they're more than happy to have Fitz rubber stamp everything. So that's who McKee is. You know, they control McKee like a puppet, and they like their little puppet. So, but if Rhode Island Governor Dan McKee wins re-election next year, I am telling you, it is just the mass exodus is going to be on, even more than it is now. Folks, this portion of the program is brought to you by Quality Asphalt Seal Coating. Call Corey today, 401 283 9815. 401 283 9815. Quality Asphalt Seal Coating. They can seal coat driveways, parking lots. They offer crack filling, pothole repair, line striping. They can do sport court resurfacing, pickleball, tennis, basketball. They will epoxy garages and patios, decorative concrete flooring. Contact them, free quote, Quality Asphalt Seal Coating. Call Corey, 401 283 9815. 401 283 9815. Look for them on Facebook. They have great social media presence. It's 283 9815 for Quality Asphalt Seal Coating. Well, folks, good afternoon. This is, yes, the real news, and we will be out tonight. Of course we will. Are you kidding? The weekend is when we come alive with Road Patrol Live. And I want to just make sure that I am not missing anything as far as any late breaking news coming down. So let me just double check at 139. Okay, I don't know about that. Let's see. ICE is reversing termination of legal status international students around the U.S. Well, that's too bad. I don't see anything. I don't see that I'm missing anything. Okay, which is good because that's all. I just want to make sure that I'm not missing anything that could be going on. So, okay, and I don't believe I am. So, let me just also, no. Okay, we'll just leave it at that at 140. Now, this is important. As I think of it, I want to double check the local news stations. I really wish they would change the headline because so many people jump to, oh, I know who that is. Okay. Suspects connect to multiple raids across the state. Yeah, as we've talked about, a lot of the problems are younger individuals. younger individuals. That's a major um, problem as far as how old they are with some of these individuals that they're arresting, because people have said that some of these gang members are getting younger and younger. And just two of them that they have, one's 21 and the other's 19. The problem with them is, I don't who names their child deprives daily, connected to a series of raids in Rhode Island. Well, he's 19 years old and he's heading to the ACI. Now, granted, he's going to be in a gang, but the prisoners certainly don't seem to mind to have some of the younger inmates coming in. But it's one of the reasons why it is such a problem that I find is one of the reasons why that's a problem is they don't fully understand the impact of what life in prison means, what 25 years in prison means. It's it's very problematic. As much as they may then just think like it's not a big deal, they don't, for whatever reason, think they're going to get caught. It's a major deal when something like this happens. But they don't realize that, and it's dangerous. When you have it doesn't matter how old they are. And I know people like Lieutenant Governor Sabina Matos. He's just a teenager. Listen, an 18 and 19-year-old with a gun is still just a person with a gun. And it doesn't really matter how old they are. If you have an 18-year-old with a gun, I don't think there's a difference so much between that and someone who may be a little bit older. So now, folks, again, good afternoon on this Friday. It's going to be warm this weekend. And so many people, I think it's a positive time that people are learning how to be healthy. And someone that I always like to highlight, who I admire, because she has dedicated her life to making people healthy, is the queen of health. And it's Marie at It's My Health, Mendon Rhode in Cumberland. Good afternoon, Marie.
Hi, John. Happy Friday.
Good afternoon, Marie. Happy Friday indeed. Marie, what do you have for us this Friday?
So it's starting to warm up. So it's time to start thinking about hydration. So I thought we'd just, show a few products that we have for hydration. If you're outside a lot, even just getting used to the warmer weather, adding some electrolytes, to your water. So we do have, liquid you can do. We do have powders that you can then, just put into your water, that they can have some nice flavors too, lemon, lime, and strawberry and orange and different kinds. Some of them come in stick form. Some of them come in powder that you can, there's a scoop. Some are liquid, but nice to add to water, gives it a little bit of flavor, but also is giving you those electrolytes so that you're not going to get depleted and then start to feel really awful. So good time of year to start thinking about that and having that available. Just notice going outside, for a little bit, it's pretty warm out there today, and more of that obviously is coming. So I just wanted to talk about that. And of course, it's allergy season. Everybody's sneezing. So we do have things that can help with that are homeopathic or herbal. I find them just to be a lot easier on the body than some of the more medicinal things that you find over the counter. Some of those chemicals don't always agree. They can make you drowsy. They can make you just not feel really well. So we do have things, homeopathic remedies, and we do have some nice herbal things that you can take as well. So we do have ways to deal with the allergies in a more natural way.
Folks, it's Marie at It's My Health, 1099 Mendon Road in Cumberland. Between allergies and next week, it is going to also start to warm up quite a bit, Marie. What are some other things in the spring or some other products that just off the top of your head you'd like to recommend, because then you also do have people that start to do some work outside in the garden, and then maybe they have some aches, and you also have a number of products that can help with people with some of the pain and aches that they start to develop.
So for aches and pains, yeah. So we have CBD, that's always a good go-to for some people. I like the homeopathics, arnica. I mean, I tell my husband all the time when he's going out to work in the yard, take arnica before you start, take arnica when you're done. It'll help with those muscle pains. I use it, especially this time of year. You're starting to use muscles you haven't used in a little while, maybe.
Yeah.
Out there digging and raking and things like that. And you get in and you just feel really sore. So taking the arnica helps a lot. We do have other things too. We have, curcumin or turmeric that can be anti-inflammatory. So that's for, more general pain and discomfort that people have for a number of things.
Folks, again, it's Marie at It's My Health, 1099 Mendon Road in Cumberland. Now, Marie, tomorrow apparently is going to be a rainy Saturday, but I'm willing to bet there's some things going on at It's My Health. Folks, it's all activities. You want to pop in, and there's always activities and busy things that you can take part of, and it's either about physical health or mental health.
Yep, we do have yoga. We have Pilates going on tomorrow. We'll see what the day brings. The thing I'm really recommending for tomorrow is down in North Kingstown. They're doing a baby shower at the rehab for animals, wild animals. So one of my customers is a volunteer down there, and she had brought in a flyer. And they have a cool thing too. You can click on the QR code, and it takes you to Amazon, and they have a registry for things they need, like needles, syringes, things for turtles, things for birds, things for all kinds of things that they need. I did it myself, and it ships directly to them, so you don't even have to get involved. So if you can't go, but there's going to be, I guess, looking at the thing now, there's going to be face painting. They're going to have some baby animals for the kids to play with. If it's raining, they won't have the outdoor petting zoo, but they're going to have a number of things going on. They might do some rock painting, and they're going to have an ice cream social. So I think it's from noon to 4. It's in North Kingstown. I highly recommend people go, even if it's raining. Most of it's indoors. So if I weren't working, that's where I would be.
You're always working. That's why you're the Queen of Health. Marie, before I let you go, how else can people learn more about It's My Health? How do you direct people? I mean, I always tell people they should stop in, but how else can they learn more or just pull you up?
That really is the big way. I mean, we do have a Facebook account, but I'm just not big into the whole social media thing. More old fashioned. That's really the best way. We do some advertising, and we do, have a Facebook site. We do have a website, but yeah, it's
the best thing to do is stop in,
come
and see
in,
you.
hang out.
Yeah.
It's a great place to hang out. We have good energy here,
Yeah.
I believe.
All right, folks, it's the Queen of Health, Marie, and It's My Health, 1099 Mendon Road in Cumberland. Marie, thank you for joining us. Have a great weekend. Say hello to the luckiest man, and we'll talk to you next week.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Right, folks, there it is, Marie at It's My Health. She is so terrific. I never know if people sometimes like to push a different way to get a hold of them. I didn't mean to throw it off. I recommend, and right now at 1:50 on this Friday, I recommend stopping in, but there's other people that I sometimes like to direct people to. For instance, someone was asking me about Lawn Doctor, and Lawn Doctor is tremendous, and it is the best lawn ever, guaranteed. I was on Court TV this morning. You could see my lawn in the background. Now, Lawn Doctor, best lawn ever, guaranteed. George, they do a fantastic job. Lawn Doctor of Rhode Island. You want to make them your lawn care company, you can call them, but they have a great user-friendly website, and it's lawndoctor.com. Lawndoctor.com. You can call them, but if you just log on and type in your zip code, that puts you in touch, and then they lock right in. Now, where else did I hear? Craig His business had a flood. Pipe broke, and he was asking me who did I recommend to contact, and I recommended that he contact Serve Pro of Providence. Remember, folks, when disaster strikes, whether it's fire or flood or mold, Serve Pro of Providence. Call them 401 941 5500. 401 941 5500. Serve Pro of Providence, whether it's water damage, fire damage. Now, them you can find online, serveproprovidence.com. I share their Facebook page. They have great presence, restoration, reliability. They're available 24/7. And I mean, they go 24/7. Serve Pro of Providence. If you have a fire at 2 a.m. and you call them, they're on it. If you have a flood at midnight, they're on it. 24/7 on the scene. Fire, water, storm, mold. Serve Pro of Providence. Call them 401 941 5500. So, folks, good afternoon. Now, again, it sure just to touch on some of the news as far as, oh, you know what else I just want to mention? Condolences again go out to Sean at Watson Materials. His dad passed away. I saw him yesterday. Just such a great family. Watson Materials. They carry the largest selection of landscape materials in Rhode Island. 401 885 0600 is Watson Materials, whether it's landscape lighting, pavers, retaining walls, natural stone, cobblestone. Watson Materials. Give them a call, 401 885 0600, 401 885 0600. Request a quote. It's Watson Materials, 1500 South County Trail in EG. And again, great business, fantastic family. Watson Materials. Okay, carry the largest selection of landscape materials in Rhode Island. Well, folks, good afternoon. I'm kind of jumping around a little bit on this Friday. We will be active. I don't know how long the rain is going to go tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be clear tomorrow night, and we can do Road Patrol Live tomorrow night. I know we have some rain for the weekend. I was unaware if or unknown, I should say, if it's going to be raining. I'm looking at tomorrow's forecast. It's definitely raining until 1 o'clock. So we'll monitor that. I don't know if it's going to rain all day, all night, but we'll definitely be out tonight and definitely be active should something happen this afternoon. Let me mention a couple other P's. JD Lawn Care Tree Service. Call them for your spring cleanup. They're fantastic. 401 441 0154. I share their Facebook page. JD Lawn Care and Tree Service. Who else did I want to mention? J&B Plumbing. You need a plumber. I found a great one. The Dream Team. Tommy and Jimmy. 401 743 9153. J&B Plumbing Repair and Service. Damaged water pipes, pipelines, everything. You need a plumber. J&B Plumbing. 401 743 9153. Folks, 154. I want to just check some of the other news that is happening on this Friday. I know that oh yeah, there it is. I know that at the State House, it sure seems as though the State Senate is going to fall in line between this Val Lawson and Senator Chacon. It's embarrassing. It's disgraceful. That is a form of corruption. They're both union people. They're against the private sector. They're absolutely against the private sector, and they do all they can to drive out business. And that Val Lawson is the president of NEA Rhode Island. And the fact of, her whole mission, if she becomes the Senate president, and it looks like she's going to be, her whole mission is to go after charter schools, and go after private schools and go after Catholic schools and go after people that homeschool. The only thing she cares about are the traditional public schools that are failing. And it's not even, that's not an opinion. The traditional public school model in the state is failing. And someone who's been a big part of that, who has contributed to that, is seemingly on the verge of being named the next president of the Rhode Island Senate. In a lot of other states, that would be considered, of course, it's a conflict of interest. She's not there to serve her constituents of East Providence. She's there to further the agenda and just try to put into law things that protect labor. And that is to the detriment of the taxpayers. And it's also to the detriment of private business. So she shouldn't be. In other states, they would not allow the president of a teachers union to then become, the president of their Senate or to be the Speaker of the House. And the fact that her and Chacon, they don't care about you. They don't care about me. I'm certainly not fooled into thinking that. The only thing, they don't even care about the people that elect them and send them there. Their whole motive and their whole operation is just trying to pass things that are going to benefit the members of the union. So, and that's all the unionized workers. And folks, there's nothing good for private business with these people. They take things and make them law. And all they do is drive up the cost of whether it's state and local taxes or city and town, and just start passing ridiculous legislation where then, the taxpayers have to pay for it. Just keep in mind, in the minds of these individuals, they wouldn't care if every young person, they don't care that your child moves out of state because they can't find a job. They don't care that your grandchildren would have to leave state. All they care about is taking care of their members. They're selfish individuals that have a selfish agenda, and they should not be allowed positions of power. And in a normal state, they're not allowed to be in a position of power. So, but right now, unless something changes, once they put Ruggiero in the ground, he should never have been allowed. His loyalty is not to the taxpayers. His loyalty is to the laborers. And this woman, Lawson, her loyalty is to the teachers' unions. And Chacon, his loyalty is to labor. It's not for the taxpayers. All right, folks, listen, at 1:59 on this Friday, thank you. Great job by JR this week. Now, if you're listening to the radio, stay tuned for the 2 o'clock news. Everybody else, we will be active. Maybe this afternoon, I don't know, but definitely this weekend with Road Patrol Live. All right, enjoy yourself, but we'll be seeing you out there. We'll be live at some point on Road Patrol Live.